The NFL is drunk. Bill Belichick's not in the Hall of Fame as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Mike McCarthy has been hired again, and Joe Brady has been promoted. A lot of crazy stuff has happened over the past 48, 72 hours or so. We're going to delve into all of it. Before we do, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I'm wearing something for the merch store. It is our November is Sloth Month T-shirt. Everyone wants to talk about pride and how important it is, blah blah blah. Sloth is extremely important as well. Make sure you visit the merch store and celebrate all these sins. All 7 sins need to be celebrated equally. So you can get these shirts, any color, long sleeve, hoodie, infant onesie, women's tank top. We have it all. 15% off sale, by the way. We have our mugs. We have our famous apron. We have baseball cap. We'll be adding stuff very soon. I'm excited for it. I have some ideas brewing already, so look forward to that. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one is Jerks at the College Years, where I made fun of these interesting people you might see on the screen here. My first book was A Safety and a Field Goal, which is a top 5 topic book about the NFL. Mostly serious stuff, but some fun stuff too. And please consider super chats, super stickers. It's the best way to support the show. We had Kevin Kovac last week giving us a great super chat. We had some others as well. So I can't thank you enough, guys. Just really appreciate it. And really appreciate you guys subscribing, because I'm going to check now. The numbers as of right now, we are 156 subs away from reaching 10,000.
Wow, let's go.
I know. We reached 5,000 in the summer, and then we just had the surge here. I think because of, a lot of things, but I think the mock draft traffic has been awesome, and also all the props that Evan provided. And like I said, we have so many great guests on the show too. So you guys are so awesome. So thank you so much. And if you're listening and not subscribed, like I said, we're only 156 away. So please help us get there. All right. We're joined by Kenny from thecapIsFake.com. Kenny, how are you? How was your weekend? How was your championship games? And how's life in general?
Oh, it was great. I love the championship games. I feel like usually this is like the best Sunday of the year in terms of like football quality. Although one of the 2 games kind of stunk. Yeah. And I am fresh off of a nap. So I have been asleep for the last 2 hours, and here I am. So let's go.
I know it too, because I text you when I send you the email, and then I didn't hear from you for 13 minutes, and then I asked you asleep, and then I still didn't hear from you for another 12 minutes. And I thought maybe like, all right, I give Kenny a whole half hour here, and maybe I'll go live. But then you texted me, so yeah, here we are.
Well, I think my phone like beeped because one of the text messages was like whatever, like the it's delayed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I don't check it for a couple minutes, it beeps again at me or whatever. So I think that second one I was the one that actually prompted me to get up. Well done.
Well, at least you didn't keep sleeping. I find that like if I'm on the couch for a while, like this happened to me. I can't remember which night, but like I was so tired, but like I set an alarm for like a half hour. I'm like, I just need a half hour sleep, and I'll continue working. And like the next thing I know, it's like 3 hours later. I'm like, what happened? and then when you go to bed, you're not as tired anymore, and it's like the worst. Like I feel like you want to go to bed like exhausted, so you actually sleep. But if I don't, like if I sleep beforehand, I can't go to sleep, and it's terrible. You just lay in bed doing nothing.
Okay, it's funny you say that, because my wife and I were talking about this a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem falling asleep. From the time I lay down, when my head hits the pillow, it takes me about, 4 seconds to be completely unconscious. Okay, no matter what. My wife, on the other hand, she gets in bed and she's like twiddling her thumbs. She's like, it takes her like 30, 40, 60 minutes. I'm like, what are you doing for that amount of time? She's like, I don't know. Things are just running through my mind. I'm like, that sounds terrible. Oh my gosh. So
yeah, I usually if I'm tired, if I lay down, I'm asleep within 2 minutes. But if I sleep like my crazy schedule, I go to bed at like 6 a.m. 6:30.
You're insane.
Yeah, I am. But if I fall asleep at like 2 a.m. and usually it's like I try to cap it a half hour, but if I fall asleep at 2 and then suddenly I wake up at like 4:30 a.m. and like I have to go to bed at 6:30 a.m. It's like I'm not tired anymore, you know. And so like I laid my head down and like. And I'm like your wife at this point, just like tossing and turning. Like next thing you know, it's like 7:30. I'm still not asleep yet. Eventually, I do fall asleep. But and by the way, we got a new bed too. And the first night we had it, it was so uncomfortable for me. I didn't even sleep 1 second. It felt like I was sleeping on a stone. It was like the worst. But luckily we got we got one of those I forget what they call it, like the thing that makes the bed softer is something you put over your mattress but under your sheets. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, we put that on. Yeah, something like that. So we put it on, and now it actually feels like a real bed. But that first night I was like, man, I'm gonna have to return this thing. It's like felt like a rock. I was sleeping outside. It was terrible. But yeah, luckily I don't have to deal with that anymore. I do have to deal with my son coming into my room. It's like, Daddy, Daddy. Is it morning yet? No, it's not. Go back to bed, and he just crawls into the bed with me. it's like okay. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, our daughter's gonna come into bed with us, and I don't know if I like this idea. I don't know if I don't think I'm a fan. Climbing in the middle of the night. I'm like, I don't know.
See, he doesn't do it.
I'm already relegated to 20% of the bed. Now I got to give up another, 10%. I got to give up half of the 20% I get. Oh gosh.
You only get 10%. Yeah, that's how it works. No, he doesn't come into the room in the middle of the night. Well, not that I would know because I'm not there. But he comes in at like 6:30 a.m. just as like I'm falling asleep. He's like, Daddy, is it morning yet? Like, is it still dark outside? So it's okay. I mean, he gets up like in a half hour and goes downstairs anyway. So kind of like wondering why he just doesn't go downstairs in the first place. He actually came down yesterday. I was working, and it's like 4:30 a.m. and he comes down. He's like crying. Like, what's wrong? He's like, I want to see the Mario movie. I'm like, that's not coming out for 3 months. Like, hate to break it to you. Like, you have to wait till April. He's like, when's it gonna be April? I'm like, in 3 months when it's spring.
Nice.
So yeah, it's funny that he was like upset about that, but at least he's into Mario.
Yeah, I love it. Gotta love it.
It's a plus. And by the way, I don't know if I said this on the show. I had a proud dad moment. My son beat the first level of Sonic the Hedgehog on his own with no help at all. Like, I did not help him at all. Did not tell him what to do. He just beat it. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. It's only 4. He just turned 4. So I was very, very proud about that.
Solid.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, we have some football stuff to discuss. You may have heard the news today that Bill Belichick did not make the Hall of Fame.
Crazy.
As the first ballot Hall of Famer. At first I thought it was a fake Schefter account, like one of those darn Schefter accounts. I was like how could this be possible, and then I was like, the thought popped in my head that like the people voting, like there's 10 people who did not vote him in, and I thought, I was like, are they jealous of him because he has a 27-year-old girlfriend? Is that why? And then but then I read that Bill Polian, who led the charge, like I was shocked. First, I was shocked. Bill Polian is still alive. I had no idea Bill Polian is still alive. Like I thought, like he's like 130 years old. Like how is he still alive? Anyway, I saw that he led the charge against Belichick to be a first ballot Hall of Famer because he wanted him to serve penance for the Deflategate controversy. So he just wants him to wait a year and then admit him. So he doesn't want him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So I wrote about this in the section called NFL Stupid Meter, grading the dumb moves teams make. In this case, it's the Hall of Fame committee. So what's your take on this? Like, first of all, obviously this is stupid to keep him out, but like, second, what do you think about Polian making Belichick wait a year because of the Deflategate?
I don't. Yeah. I don't. I think it's stupid, idiotic. It reeks of jealousy. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's dumb. And I think it exposes the system. Like, come on, man. I just gotta be better. Like, this is so obviously like the coach with the greatest resume in NFL history. Like I don't know. Yeah, he's been to 10 Super Bowls, right? As a head coach, 10 or 9, whatever it was. with 6 victories, or nine Super Bowl appearances and 6 victories.
6 victories, yeah.
And then as a defensive coordinator, he was awesome, right? How many Super Bowls did he go to? As like 4?
He won 2. He won 2.
One, 2. Or did he go to the Giants? Went to 3 and they won 2. Is that what happened?
I think so. Yeah.
And so maybe they only went to 2 and won 2. I don't know. Maybe I can't remember. Anyway, but they won 2. With him as the defensive coordinator. Yeah, I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. And like, I saw someone say like, oh, like, Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl without Belichick, and Belichick struggling in college football, and the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. Like, this all proves that this all proves that Belichick wasn't as good as we thought. I'm just like, this is just like so stupid. Yeah, so he is clearly has the best resume of any coach in NFL history. You could argue has the best resume of any coach in any sport, with the exception of John Wooden at UCLA. In the 1960s and 70s, like really, like, with the exception of John Wooden, like you can argue Bill Belichick has the second greatest resume of any coach ever in any sport, at any level. So the fact that he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer is just absolutely patently absurd, and it makes the NFL look stupid. Like, and it makes Bill Polian look stupid. Like, you just told on yourself, bro. You told us you're a dope.
Yeah, at least, like, if he's gonna wait just 1 year, it's still stupid, but at least, like, it's okay, fine. Like, he's gonna be in anyway in 1 year. Like, people are gonna forget about this anyway. Like, in 20 years, or people are gonna like remember that he didn't make the Hall of Fame right away and he had to wait 1 year. Like, it's not gonna like, it's gonna be like a trivia question almost on like a sports trivia show. And that'll be like the extent of it, and like, it won't matter as long as he makes the Hall of Fame in a year, So on one hand, that's fine. And if you think about how dumb baseball has been with Pete Rose, just keeping him out, like, he's still not in the Hall of Fame. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, they made Pete Rose wait 1 year, 2, 5 years, whatever, and then eventually put him in. Like, okay, fine, but like, they never put him in, which is like idiotic. But like, if they made him wait a year, it's okay. It's just, but I agree with you. It makes the not just the NFL, but like the Hall of Fame looks silly. Like, it's almost like, okay, like why? And it's I didn't put this in the header, but we had someone make the Pro Bowl. I don't know if you saw.
So dumb.
Right. So that makes, like, the Pro Bowl look stupid. So all this stuff makes football look stupid. So I don't know. I don't like this. I graded this as you probably disagree with this. I put 8 out of 10 on the stupid meter. Like, you would probably say 10 out of 10. Like, my point is that, like, okay, if you never put him in, then it's like 10, like a million out of 10, right? But like, if you just make him 1 year, it's 8 out of 10. It's like, but my question is, like, do you think they're going to do this to Tom Brady too? Because Tom Brady was the second half of the Deflategate, and like, he has even more Super Bowl wins than Belichick. He did it on another team. I think it would make the NFL look insanely stupid if they made Brady wait, because there is no, like, that one argument you said where, like, oh, Belichick never did it without Brady, but like, Brady did it without Belichick. So like, you would say, like, his resume is even stronger than Belichick's is. So like, do you think they're gonna make Brady wait a year? What do you think?
I'd be shocked if they did that. I would fully expect them not to do that, but I wasn't expecting this. So what do I know? Yeah, it's so dumb. Yeah, no, I can't imagine doing it. Brady has the greatest resume of any player ever. I mean, maybe you could argue Bill Russell has a better resume, but just the NBA was just not nearly what it was, like what it is, like, back in the 50s. Like, the quality competition was just so much lesser. Like, you just. Like, Tom Brady has the greatest resume of any athlete or sports person ever. I'm not sure it was a close second. Like, I know there'll be Jordan people out there. Like, Brady's resume is just so profoundly better than anything else. Like, just the guy he was in the conference championship game like 80% of his career. Like it's just so like this is insane. Right, he played in 10 Super Bowls, he won 7. I just like he owns every record. Yeah, I mean he's the greatest. He is the GOAT, and like yeah, I would put Brady's resume better than anyone else. So him not being like it's just it makes the system is stupid at that point.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, it's like it's no one better, and making him wait would be it would make it look like even dumber. I think so. I like what T Bagley says. There's no punishing someone by making them wait. It's not a thing. He's a Hall of Famer tomorrow, and he's a Hall of Famer today.
Yeah,
this is definitely true. Also, pulling open the doors, activists doing real damage to the legacy of individual players and the sport as a whole. He should be removed immediately. Yeah, again, like I was shocked that he was still alive. He's 83. I actually thought he was way older. Like he used to be on ESPN. I thought he was like in his 80s when he was on ESPN. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I see it as a form of vandalism. Actually, yeah, I agree. I think I agree with that. I think it's like a stain on it, and yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, it's if he's in next year, no one's going to remember it, but at the same time, it does make it look stupid in the present. Which, and I do like T Bagley's argument that it's going to open the door for other things. So, well, we'll see. We'll see if that keeps Brady out for 1 year. I think that would be ridiculous. But yeah, we had I just brought it up recently. We had Shedeur Sanders voted into the Pro Bowl. Not voted in. He made it as an alternate because Drake May was a Pro Bowler, and Drake May can't go to the Pro Bowl because he's playing in the Super Bowl, which is like kind of so stupid that the players from the Super Bowl can't go to the Pro Bowl. It's like, what's the point? Like, it's supposed to be the best players, and like the best players from the best teams can't go. So like, what's the point of watching? I have never watched a Pro Bowl in my life. I've watched this. I watched every single preseason game, but I've never watched the Pro Bowl ever. And it's like stupid stuff like this that would just keep me from not watching it. I don't understand how like Shedeur Sanders like was even an alternate. Like, wasn't there someone else? Like Geno Smith, it was more worthy of a Pro Bowl spot.
Trevor Lawrence. Wasn't Trevor Lawrence missed the Pro Bowl?
Yeah. I don't how's Trevor Lawrence not in over Shedeur? I assume that they like asked him and he said no, or that's what my guess was. But he was like obviously way better. But like I'm serious. Like Geno Smith was more worthy of a Pro Bowl than Shedeur Sanders, and Geno Smith was awful this year. So
yeah, I don't get it. Like I think I saw someone on Twitter gloating like, y'all said Sanders is gonna suck. Now he's in a Pro Bowl. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, this is why not everyone should be allowed to vote. Like this is just.
I saw stuff like that. I thought people were trolling at that point. I didn't think they were serious. I didn't want to respond to people like, well, they're just trolling. they just baited you. I'm like, oh god, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think there are some stupid people out there who kind of believe that stuff. As Kenny gets his back scratcher, which I am jealous of. I have one too, but it's not
best. This is the best $3 I've ever spent in my life right here, guys. This right, this right here, the best $3. And
see, my wife got me one. It's look like a rake. Like,
yo, that's a terrible back scratch. You need the wooden claw, bro.
So it works. It does the job, but it's like I can't do what you're doing. I can't like fit it into my shirt because it's too big. You know,
it, like rips off skin. It's so good, bro.
That's great. My son is like, "What, Daddy? Why do you have a rake in your office?" That's what it looks like. Like I said, if I have to take off my shirt to do it, it gets the job done. But no, I can't do what you did. So
now we are now all one thing. You take off your shirt and use a back scratcher.
If we reach 10,000 subs, I will take off my shirt.
Inquiring minds want you to want to see anyway.
I assume they were trolling. Yeah, I assume most of them were trolling. But like, if there's like a Jacina Anderson out there, she blocked me, so I can't see what she says. I think that I think she would probably be serious about that sort of deal. Also, to the next Browns head coach, have fun dealing with this mess. Well, I mean, look, the Browns coaching gig looks way more appealing now. They have a Pro Bowl quarterback. Like, who wouldn't want to go to Cleveland? The Pro Bowl quarterback and great defense. Like, what a combo. But I also thought that the guy saying we should get rid of the crowd noise is trolling, and turns out he wasn't. What's the crowd noise? I don't know. I didn't hear that. I don't know what that was specifically, but I don't know. There are a lot of dumb people out there. So like, and you're right. Like there's like a dumb opinion for everyone, you know. And I sometimes think like, you know, we see these stupid people out there. Like some people are like, you know, saying like praising Shador Sanders and whatnot. I was like, what if this is the Twilight Zone and like we're the dumb ones and like they're actually smart and like you know, it's kind of like that. I don't know if you ever saw the Twilight Zone, but it was the one episode where the man they operate on this guy and he's so ugly that they can't take off his bandage and they keep trying to do surgery on him and like it keeps failing, keeps getting worse, and like they're like, you can't leave this hospital, you're so ugly, if people look at you they will die. Like and like they just keep trying to operate and it doesn't work, and eventually he's like, I gotta get out of here. I can't spend my whole life at this hospital. So he leaves and he runs and he goes to another wing of the hospital. He sees another woman. He sees a woman, you can see it right here, but like she's also covered in a bandage, and they're like, should we just look at each other? And so they agree to take their bandages off, and you see that like this dude is like 6'3" chiseled dude with like square jaw, and this woman's like beautiful, and like the doctors come in and they like ugly pig faces and stuff.
Yeah,
so, like, yeah. So like, is this like real life? Are they like, are the pig face people actually the Shador Sanders? For those not following, the Shador Sanders people praising him, are they like the smart ones or we're the dumb ones? Like so I sometimes wonder that, like, are like, because it seems like so obvious, but like people have such dumb opinions that I'm like, how do you come up with something like this? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. There's a guy on the NHL subreddit who said that a playoff series upset should be replayed because it was just a fluke. Wow. Yeah. Speaking of stupid opinions, it's definitely a pig face. They should call that like the pig face opinion people. I don't know. All right. So we had some head coaching moves that happened. And I'm sure you're familiar with one of the guys.
Sure. Yeah, I my intention, on my to-do list this week is to offer a video specifically around this particular man, but we'll get to that later.
Well, let's get to it now. Can we get to it now?
No, I mean, I want to give a thorough treatment of this at another time, but
okay. Well, let's do briefly, I guess. Like a preview, if you will.
I know. Listen, I just want to pause for a second and say, I don't know if this is the worst hire in NFL history. I don't know. I don't know if it's the worst. It's easily in the conversation. Okay, it's easily in the conversation as the worst hire in NFL history. But considering who has made the hire, one of the most stable, one of the most like revered franchises, only 3 head coaches in whatever it's in 60 seasons of football. This incredible the bastion of stability that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They just decided to convert to being the Cleveland Browns. I remember when I was in high school. I knew this guy. He didn't go to our high school, but a guy that I knew when I was in high school, lived in my neighborhood. Was like the greatest, like the biggest pothead. He was a pothead and stoner and barely like kind of flunked out of high school or barely survived high school. Kind of just like, this guy's like awkward. He's never going to get a wife. Like no one's going to want to be around this guy. This guy's like such a goober. And then like I didn't see him for like 20 years. And then I ran into him like in 2019. I was visiting Philly and I ran into him. And he was a clean cut Mormon who shaved, didn't drink coffee, didn't drink chocolate or eat chocolate, no caffeine. And I was like, wow, you're a Mormon now? Like magic underwear and everything? And like this is how I feel. But there's like this Pittsburgh Steelers were like you were like, I don't know.
It was the opposite way, right?
It was the opposite. Like you were like the clean cut, like stable one, but like you decided to become the stoner. It's just like Like, I just like that's how I feel. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers were like there are certain organizations that are in the category of idiots, pure idiocy. The Pittsburgh Steelers were above that, and they intentionally said we are going to dive into the stupid end of the swimming pool. What has Mike McCarthy done that would lead you to believe he has the cachet that Mike Tomlin and Bill Cowher and Chuck Noll? I mean, this is I couldn't believe this. I absolutely couldn't believe this. When I first heard it, I forgot that they had fired Tomlin or Tomlin stepped down or whatever. And I saw something on Twitter and I was like, Mike McCarthy. I was like, did Tomlin hire him as his OC? I'm like, that sounds like a dumb move, but I mean, I don't know, maybe Tomlin. And I was like, wait a minute, no, Tomlin's out. Like, oh gosh, head coach, what? What? They woke up and decided to be clowns. Like, I can't believe this is unbelievable to me, man. Like, this is terrible.
What you described, and for so Cassandra's saying, rather than the guy having no wife, he has 9. I don't know how many wives it is, maybe 9. But what you described that as, it reminds me of Trading Places almost. Do you ever watch that movie with Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, back in the day. Oh
yeah. Where if those of you who haven't seen it, it was like a stock trader is the Dan Aykroyd, and there was like it was a black guy, Eddie Murphy, who I think he was just I don't know if he was a homeless man, but I forget what he wasn't really he didn't have any money or anything. So the hedge fund guys, they're like, hey, let's make a bet here where we could take the homeless guy and make him a successful stock trader. We take the stock trader and make him a homeless guy. So they traded places, those two. And that kind of reminds me of the Steelers here. The Steelers were like the Dan Aykroyd, clean cut stock trader, 6 figures probably at that time. And now they are a homeless person with Mike McCarthy, which I don't get this either. I don't. Like, I never envisioned this. Like, I thought that they're going to bring in John Harbaugh when he was still available. And then, I thought maybe, I don't know. So I don't even know. Like someone else, someone who made sense. This makes no sense, like at all. How do you go from Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin to Mike McCarthy? It's just like a proven loser. Like Aaron Rodgers lost the game on purpose because of how bad Mike McCarthy was. He didn't want to play with Mike McCarthy anymore. He lost to the Cardinals in the was it 2018? I think it was the 2018 season, where he Rodgers blatantly lost the game because he was so sick of playing for McCarthy, and then they fired McCarthy that Monday. And then hilariously enough, the Packers came back and beat a superior Atlanta team later the next week. But that's how fed up Rodgers was with McCarthy, who won a Super Bowl. They won a Super Bowl together. But and some people will point to that. Like you said, what has he done? They'll say, oh, he won a Super Bowl. But my argument was, and I'm sure this is yours as well, that the Packers should have won way more than one Super Bowl with McCarthy.
They should have won 3 or 4 with that team.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2011 team with the Green Bay Packers might be I would argue 2011 Green Bay Packers are the greatest team ever to not win a Super Bowl. Yeah. The 2007 Patriots probably at the top of that list, but the 2011 Green Bay Packers are in the mix. That team was unbelievable, right? I mean, he was playing. It was the year after the Super Bowl. I think at one point in the middle of the year, I remember Aaron Rodgers was a 21-point favorite in week 11. I remember once upon a time when I used to gamble, I remember betting against him. It was like a 21-point favorite. I'm like, come on, I got to cover 21 points on the road, and they did. There was a stretch where Aaron Rodgers was playing at 11. Now this is all the stuff I was going to cover in the video. I was intending to record a separate video for the Walter Football YouTube channel to cover all this. Maybe I'll still do it, but
I hope you do.
Because it's like Aaron Rodgers was playing at a level we've never seen. I would argue that 2011 Rodgers was the greatest quarterback of all time. That version of Rodgers. The offensive line, the defense, they were so good, and that team 100% lost because of bad in-game management. And in like like a stubbornness. Like McCarthy's problem, he was stubborn. He had a particular vision of how the offense should run. He had a particular view on what the team was, how the team was going to play. And like when it became abundantly obvious, like that wasn't going to work, you need to pivot and to do something different. And when you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers, we have an all-world talented roster, and you have, what was the greatest quarterback of all time in which Rodgers was playing. Like you must small adjustments, small management, in-game management would have led that team to the Super Bowl, and just stubbornness and just pure incompetence on McCarthy's part. And so I just think that team should have won 3, maybe more Super Bowls. I mean, they were so talented. Aaron Rodgers was so good. The only McCarthy's incompetence is I'm getting angry.
Here it goes.
Because we watched one of the greatest quarterbacks of all times, prime, wasted by this absolute fool. Listen, maybe I've never met Mark McCarthy. Maybe he's a very great man. Maybe he's a kind person. Maybe he's a great family man. Whatever. Great. Stay home and play with your kids. Okay.
We got it. Got Kenny riled up. I love this.
So this guy's an idiot. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, what do you literally, you are a serious franchise. You just became an unserious franchise. You are now in the category of the Oakland Raiders, the Cleveland Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Arizona Cardinals, the Iowa Storm Barners, University of Texas at UTEP, Northern Iowa University, Rollins College, D3 Rollins College here in Central Florida. You're in that category now, you numbnuts.
Oh man, I say, to be fair, slow your roll with the Browns. They have a Pro Bowl quarterback now. Sorry.
University of Iowa, or what did I say? Iowa Storm,
Northern Iowa.
they're catching strays. They're like, what did we do?
Yeah, Kurt Warner's alma mater. Just no, this is. I really hope you make a video about this. We talked about it. I was saying I thought about making a video, but you texted me before that. And I'm like, oh, Kenny's got to do this. I really hope Kenny does this.
I'm on it this week. I'm going to give all the reasons. And maybe I'm going to give the specific reasons, how this guy totally wasted one of the best rosters, one of the best primes of any quarterback, any player we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I really got to blame, the Packers brass is also to blame. They kept bringing this guy back when he clearly was incompetent. And I don't understand how certain guys keep getting jobs, right? McCarthy in his 3rd head coaching job. How does that? I think back to the other idiots.
Thank you, Kevin. We forgot about that. The Rudy Rule DEI hire, Mike McCarthy. We talked about that last week, where he interviewed, and and you said he was a DEI. He was a DEI. The Rudy Rule. Is for the retarded person.
Yeah, they needed a minority, so they got a retarded person there. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. And so I don't understand how's who are the other guys? Dave Wanstatt or Norv Turner. Or Wade Phillips, these guys that was it Wade Phillips? He had 4 different head coaching jobs, I think, at some point in his career.
Something like that. Yeah, he was all over the place, and he never did well. Same thing with North Turner.
It's like Bill Parcells had Bill Parcells was great at least one stop, right? Pete Carroll, I think, coached 4 different NFL teams at a quarter of his career, but he won a Super Bowl with one of those teams. I don't understand the guys that I think Norv Turner was the one that was I think he had 4 different head coaching jobs in his career. Was it Norv Turner?
Carroll did. Turner was with the Raiders, the Redskins, with the Chargers. No, it wasn't the Chargers, was he? I don't know, something like that. So, or Turner.
Or Dave Wanstatt.
Well, yeah, Juan said he coached the Dolphins for a while, and then he went to the University of Pittsburgh.
But he coached the Bears for a long time too.
Yeah, he was with the North Turner was with the Chargers, Raiders, Redskins, and I don't know if there's a fourth though.
Okay, but he was terrible for all three of them. Like, well, how does this guy keep getting head coaching jobs?
Because he's a great offensive coordinator. Like that was the thing. He joined the I'll never forget the story. I mentioned it on the show like a few months ago. But Norv Turner, when he was fired by the Redskins, the next year he went to the Chargers as their offensive coordinator, and the Chargers played against the Redskins week 1 of that next year, and the Chargers were 1-15 the year before, and they entered the game as underdogs. So the Redskins, they won 30-3. And Norv Turner, afterward, he was asked, like, oh, how long did you prepare for the game? He's like, I prepared 6 months for this game. So they spent like half a year game planning for one game because just he wanted revenge. And the Chargers, they scored 30 points after going 1-15. Although, to be fair, they drafted LaDainian Tomlinson. That was his first ever game. So that was fun.
Pretty good game.
Yeah, it was the same. Like North Turner, you had Wade Phillips, and now I feel like these versions are like Brian or what's his name? The guy who's Raheem Morris and Josh McDaniels are like the new North Turner, Wade Phillips guys now, who are like really good coordinators, but they failed at multiple head coaching gigs, and I'd be shocked if like one of them doesn't get another chance. Like either one, maybe even both, are going to get another shot at a head coaching gig, because like they're going to go back to coordinator. Well, McDaniel's already there. Like Raheem Morris is going to go back to being a coordinator. He's going to do a great job because that's what he does. And then like 3, 4, 5 years from now, some team's going to hire him. And it's going to be the same thing all over again.
I just can't believe. I can't, like, come on, man. This guy clearly doesn't know what he's doing. Like, I don't get it.
Hot dog vendor turned head coach is a better option than McCarthy. Yep. I don't. Still I've been watching football. I seriously cannot think of worse fire. And I have my team coached by Ben McAdoo. Remember him? Here's the thing. Like the Gridiron Show graded the McCarthy hire from B to C, which like it's why like it's so hard to watch former players, because like they know what they're talking about in terms of X's and O's, but like they will seldom be super harsh about someone. Like they'll never give an F or anything, just because like they're all buddies with everyone. That's all around the league. I think that's why I think of like Troy Aikman as an announcer. Like he's like willing to just like say, oh, this is terrible. Like he'll actually do that. But a lot of the guys, like they'll sugarcoat everything. They'll give guys excuses, especially the former officials who are the rules experts, as they call them. They're like they'll never criticize anything. It's I don't know. It's one's whole circle of jerks. Let's just call it that. So agree with Cody Kessler has been excellent breaking down quarterback tape on show. Okay, I haven't seen it, so I'll take your word for it. I mean that makes sense. Like these guys know their X's and O's better than anyone. So like I mean that's what their lives were, especially the quarterbacks. Just happened to be Saleh great as a defense coordinator. Yeah, Saleh another one. Yeah, with the Titans. The excuse you make for Saleh is that he was with a terrible organization with the Jets, but the Titans are also a terrible organization, so I don't think it's going to really matter. Another horrible coach was Bill O'Brien. I remember mentions he did toxic things in the locker room, younger players. Yeah, Bill O'Brien. Here's a story about Bill O'Brien. He wanted in that 2017 draft, the one with Mahomes and Deshaun Watson and of course Mitchell Trubisky. The Texans front office wanted to move up for Deshaun Watson once Mahomes was off the board. And Bill O'Brien was like adamant in saying no. He did not want to move up for Deshaun Watson. He wanted to stick with Tom Savage. But the Texans front office, they won, the power struggle. They moved up for Watson. They took him. What O'Brien did after that, he made sure to fire everyone who was against him in that decision. Not just not just front office people, like scouts even. Like he just let go of everyone. And not only that, he tried to make sure that these people wouldn't land a job again. Like that's how like dickish of a person this guy is. He's absolutely horrible person. And so I was like really happy to see him fail. Like imagine like, disagreeing with someone. It's like imagine like we disagreed on something and then like I reached out to your employers like don't hire Kenny because like, we disagreed on something. Like can you imagine like how horrible and petty that is, It's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Of course it happens, right? I mean,
yeah, it does. It does. Guess you could say the story did not have a happy ending. yeah, I was glad to see him let go. So we had anything else on McCarthy? Well, I don't want to waste. I don't want to like take anything away from your video that you're going to post. I can't wait for it.
I'm putting together put together some items just to really kind of talk through like, when I say he was incompetent, that he ran this team into the ground, and that they like I want to really kind of break that down, like. And yeah, he's not the only one guilty of this, but he's the one I just think is like the most glaring in the modern era.
Yeah.
So,
I think so. All right. And some other moves. Packers hired Jonathan Gannon as defensive coordinator. I think this is okay. Like the problem with Gannon is that he does not make good adjustments, but at the same time, like I think that he's I like that, like he's willing to tailor his scheme to the players around him. Like a lot of the coaches, they don't do that. They'll come in and be like, I want to run my scheme. But like Gannon at least like be like, okay, here's what we have. I'm gonna try to do something with these guys. And they lost Jeff Hafley, who he was hired by the Dolphins for some reason. I don't know why. I think Gannon should be an upgrade over Hafley, who like only had one good half season when Micah Parsons was there and struggled otherwise. So, I mean, you watched Gannon coordinate your team's defense for some time. What are your thoughts on this hire?
I actually really like Jonathan Gannon. I actually think he's underrated. I think he runs a variation of the Vic Fangio, system that, the oblong fronts is what I call it. I think he does that. I think he's got some good like schemes, mix and that matchup zone that just, that kind of really makes much of the talent. I think that, he does a good job of kind of coaching up his edges. And, I can see Micah Parsons having his best season ever next year, when he's healthy, obviously it's gonna be a while before he's healthy, but when he comes back, I can see him having, playing at the top of his game because he's put it in a good system, assuming he comes back fully healthy, which obviously that's not a guarantee. So I like Jonathan Gannon. I think he was a terrible head coach. I think he's a kind of a goober of a guy. I just remember like he just like if anyone's a baseball fan, who was the weird guy who coached the Phillies and then the Giants, the San Francisco Giants? Gabe Kapler. Just very weird. Like he would talk about players. You'd be like, well, he presents himself. It's just such very a good presenting model of himself. Just like kind of just weird, like I don't know, like if you take like a retarded gay Klingon, that's Gabe Kapler, and Jonathan Gannon is kind of like a light version of that. But in the NFL, and so I just he's a goober. He's just kind of, you can just tell like the players think it was weird. They didn't respect him almost from day one. Like you can just tell players just like, this guy's a goober. Like he just like it's like Ned Flanders meets I don't even like I don't even know who to mix him with. It's like Kevin Hart and Ned Flanders had like a love child. Like and it's Jonathan Gannon. But I think as a defensive coordinator, he really knows what he's doing. He's an X's and O's guy, but he's not a people guy. He's not a good leader, not a leader of men. And so I think he's the role he should be in. Or I think he's a great college coach. Like I think Jonathan Gannon could really flourish, like not as a major college program, but like I think he could be a really good head coach of like a mid-major kind of
Iowa.
Yeah, University of Northern Iowa. Maybe even like I don't know, like a Kansas, like a school like that, like Utah State, whatever, some school like that. I think he fits perfect for that kind of school.
Okay. I can see that.
Oregon State.
Yeah. I did like how he got into the face of Amari DiMercato after he dropped the ball, and he actually got fined for that, I believe. It was a specialist fine. Yeah.
And he had to issue an apology to his player after or something like that.
Unbelievable,
Dude. How gay? Like, what is going on with that?
I don't understand. I thought he should have gotten an award for it. In fact, I'm going to give him an award for our annual awards coming up soon. Like the apology was so weak. Like, and he lost his job anyway. So like, why would you do that? It's incredibly weak, and he was justified in doing it because like this is not a play that happened like 10 years ago. Like if Deshaun Jackson did it and that was the last time it happened, and DeMarcado did it, it's like fine. Like it just happened the week before by Adonai Mitchell. Like he did it like 7 days ago, and then he did the same thing. I like. He deserves to get yelled at. Like he's an adult. It's not like a 6-year-old kid like dropping the ball. Like you don't yell at a 6-year-old kid. Like this is some grown man getting paid millions of dollars to do a job, and he just loafs and drops the ball for no reason because he's showboating. Like of course he should get yelled at. Like there's no like he absolutely needs to.
So dumb.
So that's so like I said, I like that he did that. So maybe that wasn't very Ned Flanderish, but I could see like otherwise I could see the comparison there. I remember that rant like it was yesterday after a Rodgers led team lost to Josh Rosen. Yeah, that was I'm so upset we don't have that anymore. I would like watch it like once every 3 months just to get a good laugh. And I have to show my son once he understands. Like it's such a beautiful rant. Like it was so good. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm still like laughing just thinking about it.
Like my frustration at that moment is that Aaron Rodgers to me, like one of my favorite players. Just pure like watching football, watching Aaron Rodgers play in his prime is as beautiful as anything. It's like watching the sunset while eating a vanilla milkshake or eating vanilla ice cream cone while my wife massages my feet. Like it's just not like that was like that's the lovely moment that is like I mean is there anything more lovely than like that's how I felt watching Aaron Rodgers play football, and to watch his career be handicapped and squandered. We're back on McCarthy. Sorry, we're talking about Jonathan Gannon, weren't we?
It's okay. We can talk about McCarthy. It's like it's a Happy Gilmore. Like you're in a happy place. Like it's that's what it is. Kevin Kovacs says $5. Thank you to Kevin for the $5.
Kevin the man.
Yeah, hard to agree. Holding people accountable could make a strong argument that moment and that game torched their entire season. It did. Like they were doing well. I forget what the record was at that point, but they did start 2-0. I don't quite remember. I believe it was week 4. I want to say that happened. Let me see. Cardinals week 4. Of course, I can't find it right now. Because I have so many things typed in here. No, week 4 was the Seattle game. So it was week 5. Sorry, it was week 5. So they started 2-0. They beat the Saints and the Panthers, and then they lost to the Niners by 1, and then they lost to Seattle by 3. So they're 2-2 at that point. It's kind of like the tipping point of their season. It could have gone to 3-2. Now we know it wouldn't matter because they had so many injuries and stuff. But they could have improved to 3-2. They were 7.5 point favorites against Tennessee. Not that you know what favorites are, but just pretend that you do. Pretend it's like your old life and you do. Yeah, they were up 21-3, or was it 21-3? They were up 21-3, and then DeMarcado was going to score a touchdown and going to go up 28-3, and he just dropped the ball. And from that point onward, Tennessee scored 19 unanswered points and won 22-21. Like Tennessee only scored 22 points. Like they get to 28, they win the game. Like almost surely. And so that completely ruined their season. It completely derailed it. And the one that they did the following week, they lost to the Colts in a close game too. So that game, I remember that game went down to the wire too. So like they had a couple of games that went like it could have gone either way. but that was really like the first time they went under 500, and that really killed the season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. The locker room vibes changed permanently. Absolutely. And like surprise, surprise, the apology meant absolutely nothing, leading to his fire anyway. Yeah. He got fired. Nothing would have changed had he not apologized. And like he could at least had some respect for himself, or like, I would have, I would have had like, I've been like, yeah, that was good. Even if they fired him right away for that, if he didn't apologize, I'm like, okay, at least like he did the right thing. And twice.
It had some self-respect, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Don't apologize and stuff. It's like that Minnesota announcer, Paul Allen, apologizing. I don't know if did you hear that at all? I mean,
no.
So he called the riots in Minneapolis right now. He said that like some of them were paid protesters, which is true. Like they're paid by NGOs, and like they call them the tourists. They go from city to city. In fact, like it's the same people who protest overseas, like in Europe and stuff. Like they are professional protesters. Like,
yeah, I thought that was not even like. I thought that's kind of known. Actually,
it is. Yeah, it is known, except for people who don't pay attention. But like it is known, and
not all of the protesters, but
right.
But,
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like there's a group of paid protesters, and then they like hand out flyers and they try to get rallies going, and then the normies come out to join them, and they kind of like rile up the normies. And like I've heard stories where like they try to get the normies arrested, so like they go to prison, they go to jail together, and the normies are crying. They're like, oh, look what they did to you, like why don't you join us, like hey, give me your number, we'll talk to each other afterward. And like that's how they get people like to join their cause, and that's what they're paid to do. This is known, like it is known. I feel like I'm like that woman in Game of Thrones. It is known. It's known. Like it's known. Like it's a fact. And like Paul Allen said this, and he got into like hot water for it for some reason, and then he had to apologize, and he had to take some days off. And at first I was on his side, and I was like, and then when he apologized, I'm like, this is really weak,
Oh yeah.
And like people are like, why is this weak? I'm like, you shouldn't apologize. Like don't apologize for telling the truth. First of all, don't apologize for anything, like unless like you really mean it. But don't.
We know he doesn't mean it. He's just being like being required by his employer. He's not like
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And
dumb.
He can't get a job anywhere else. Like it's kind of pathetic, So I feel like that was sort of I kind of liken that to what Jonathan Gannon did. It's like yeah, DeMarcado should have been yelled at. Any good coach would have yelled at him the same way. But don't apologize for that. Don't forget the fumbled interception that ended as a touchdown for Tennessee. Yeah, and don't forget the ball that hit Kyler Murray in the helmet and caused him to fall down and get injured in the play. I've never seen that before. Do you remember that play?
No.
He was in shotgun. The snap came early. The ball hit him in the face, and the ball like dropped to the ground, and he dove for the ball, and he injured his knee or whatever, injured something diving for the ball, and that was it. That was it for his season. That was when he got hurt and was out for the year. So all of this happened in the second half of that game. All three things. And of course, I had Arizona minus 7.5. Not that you know what that means, but
no,
I had that in every single contest entry. I thought that was like a lock. Tennessee was terrible. Tennessee just doesn't cover the spread. Arizona, I thought underrated because they were 2-2, but there were two losses were by 3 to Seattle and 1 to San Francisco, which, like, by the way, the two teams in the NFC Championship. So think about, like, if you think back, like they could have been 4-0 with 2 wins against the Niners and the Seahawks, which is like pretty impressive. And I thought 7.5 was a cheap number. I made the line like 10.5 or 11. I can't remember what, but like, yeah, Arizona should have not only won the game, they should have covered, and that knocked a lot of people out of Survivor. I know Evan, who had 5 entries in the Circuit Millions, the Circus Survivor, the Circus Survivor, which is $1,000 entry. It was $18 million the first place. He had 5 entries, and 2 of them lost because of Arizona. Luckily for him, he was able to hedge out of it. So, he bet Tennessee live. I can't remember. I think he got like 10-1 on Tennessee live. So, yeah. Who are the Raiders hire for as head coach? Kubiak. That would make sense. I think that would be a good hire. I think Kubiak, young offensive coordinator, and they're going to have Mendoza, obviously. So I think anytime you have a young quarterback, I think that you really should make an offensive hire, because if you make a defensive hire and you have a great offensive coordinator who gets the most out of him, like that coordinator is going to be gone in a year or two.
Yeah.
So and then he leaves, and then you have to replace him, and then you have to learn a new system, and it just sets him back. This is what happened to Alex Smith in San Francisco. It's like every year he had a new coordinator. Like you can't develop like that. If you hire an offensive guy, they're not going to leave. So I think Kubiak would be a good hire.
Yeah. I like Kubiak.
Yeah, I think he's definitely worth a shot there, and he still has to play another game, so we won't see that hire until February 9th, I think, at the very earliest. So let's see. If you're the Raiders or Cardinals, how do you compete at all in your division? Hardest jobs in football. Yeah, those divisions are stacked. I mean, it's tough. Like you have the Raiders, you have Mahomes, you have that Broncos defense, and now you have Justin Herbert, who has Mike McDaniel now. I'll talk about him in a second. And the Cardinals have to deal with the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, and the Niners, who are winners almost every year, and the Rams, of course. It's pretty rough. Kevin, thank you for the $2 super chat. You see Todd Bowles hire the best.
Kevin, the man.
Yeah,
Kevin, I feel like this little the drip, the drip of the super chats. Like rather than the one big one, it's what's that phrase? Death by 1,000 cuts. This is super chat by 1,000 cuts.
yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. As always, you're the man. See Todd Bowles hire the best offensive coordinator in the league. Who did they hire? Hold on. I forget who they hired. It was Zach Robinson. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like Zach. Yeah, I don't know if he was the best in the league, but I like him.
Yeah, it's a good hire. Yeah, I liked it. I didn't grade it. I guess I missed it. I'll have to post a grade soon for that. But there's also the Dable hire for Tennessee. It's like it's contingent. Did you see that the Dable hire? They said it's not official because he might get the Raider job. Yeah. So Todd Bowles. Oh, Todd Bowles, but I missed that. Or is it Toad? It's Toad Bowles. I completely missed that. I just assumed it was Todd Bowles. Toad Bowles.
Love it.
Very nice. Very nice. I changed my weeknight, usually around for Wednesday, Thursday for a bit busy Q1 here. Thanks for the show. As always, looking forward to the draft. Thanks for joining us, Kevin. That's awesome. I think Zach Robinson's okay. Is decent. Yeah, he's like Kenny said, not the best. I don't know if he said that in just Kevin, but like he's fine. He's fine. I think he's you could do worse, could do better.
Yeah, I think he was fine. He was fine in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's okay. It's not like they had Liam Cohen there, or they had Dave Canales there. They could have just went to one of those guys, but it's kind of I made this comparison. It's like the Redskins when they had Jay Gruden as their head coach. They had Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan on their coaching staff. It's like you could have gone with one of those guys and just canned Gruden, but for some reason you kept Jay Gruden on, even though he has his own issues and he wasn't like a great coach anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mentioned Mike McDaniel. The Chargers hired him. So I think he could be one of these guys who's a terrible head coach, but a great coordinator. Like he's, I mentioned in my art write-up that he looks like a meth head and he has the charisma of a wet sponge. But like he's good at designing plays. If like
hey, that is offensive to sponges everywhere.
I'm sorry, sponge community. I'm sorry.
It's an outrage. The sponge community is protesting. Antifa's coming in to protest. WalterFootball.com.
Because sponge community taking trace. Not just sponge community, West Sponge community. That has to be West Sponge.
Man.
Anyway, but I mean, like when he has good personnel, I feel like he can take them to the next level. Like he seems like legitimately excited to be coaching Justin Herbert. But he's like a weird guy too at the same time. Like when he beat the Bills earlier this year, he went to actually drove to a Buffalo Bills bar and just like started honking his horn outside of it. Like I don't like this guy just does like weird things. Just like not becoming of a NFL coach. So like he should definitely not be a head coach. Coordinator though, I think it could work out. Like I'm genuinely like interested to see what the Chargers do with him and Justin Herbert. What do you think about this hire?
No, I actually think it's really good. I like I think Mike McDaniel's a smart guy. Yeah, I appreciate his like insight, his ability. I think about like Devon Achane. Devon Achane's like a good player with like a very unique skill set. I don't think he's an overall great player. And so like honestly, like I think the gap between Devon Achane and let's say like Keaton Mitchell in what city does Keaton Mitchell play in? Baltimore.
Yeah.
My brain had a brain fart.
It's your guy, Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah. Keaton Mitchell for the Ravens versus Devon Achane for the Miami Dolphins. Like the talent level between those two guys in terms of style, like they're pretty close. One of those guys is like, played like an all-pro the last 2 years. The other guy is like borderline practice squad guy, right? Like, and that has to do with like scheme. Like Mike McDaniel's like knew how to specifically craft plays that would like accentuate or take advantage of Devon Achane's skill set. And like it's just like some guys are just creative. Like some people are more naturally creative than others. Like some people like know how to think about. I actually saw a video a couple of days ago. And I wonder what you think of this. Someone basically said like in the NFL right now, there's only two kind of offenses. Like he's like when I was coming up in the 80s and 90s, I can't remember who it was. 80s and 90s, they were like, a bunch of different offensive philosophies. That were kind of like unique. That they ran different types of plays. He goes, but like in the late 90s and early 2000s, as the NFL evolved into being just like a really heavy, dominant throwing league, now it's just pretty much, we throw the ball all over the place now. Pretty much like everyone just borrows plays from each other. Like everyone's playbook is kind of the same. It's a copycat league. So pretty much there's only two kinds of offensive philosophies now in the NFL. One is the team that does like it's like doesn't keep you off balance. They just do simple things so well that it's like really hard to consistently stop them. They're just fundamentally sound. And like, what's coming, but it's just hard to stop because it's just so fundamentally sound. And then there's the second type of offense where that it's like, they just keep you off balance. Like they don't actually do a lot of things. They don't do a lot of things well. They just do a lot of different things. So it's like the way the guy compared, he's like the Pittsburgh Steelers for the last decade, or the last whatever, like, or even like the Philadelphia Eagles in 2024. Like they do like four things really, really, really well, and they do the same four things over and over again. And the Eagles won a Super Bowl doing that. Meanwhile, the Niners run like the Niners will, in the course of a game, they'll run like 35 different schemes, like 35 different like variations, and like they never run the same play twice. Where like the Eagles, it's like, there's like four variations of what they do, and they change it a little bit here and there, but they pretty much do the same thing over and over again. But they're just fundamentally sound, and they beat you. Like those are basically the two philosophies. Like interestingly enough, this video I was watching was saying like the Bengals are in essence in that category of like the simple, but because they have Joe Burrow, who's so freaking brilliant, it works. The Jaguars with Doug Peterson, they were very simple. And so like in essence, like Mike McDaniel is the kind of guy that's just like they show up on a Sunday, and it's like they may run 70 plays, offensive plays, and like 65 of them are like drastically different formations. Like in the course of a game, they'll have 18 different formations, and they'll do 13 different motions, and they'll run like all these different plays. And like it just, you have to be like every week you're coming up with new plays. And like some people just don't have the creativity to do it well. McDaniel like legitimately does it well. Like you watch the Dolphins play, and it's like every week they had unique, like, oh, you've never seen that play before. Oh, you've never seen that formation before. Oh, that was different. That was unique. And it's like, how do you keep coming up with different things? It's just like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm boring, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to come up with stuff. Like, I'm like, I have like 5 shirts. I make the same. Like, every time I cook for dinner, it's the same dinner. Like, chicken breast in the oven and a side of broccoli salad. Like that's what I make every time. Like when it's my turn to cook. Whatever. Like my wife's like, "What you give the kids to eat? Hot dogs again?" Like that's what I do. I don't know. I'm a boring person, but I'm fundamentally sound when I make my hot dogs. Okay, when I push those microwave buttons, I'm fundamentally sound. And so Mike McDaniel's like just this very, very creative guy who's always coming up with new stuff. And like I think as a player, like that's gotta be like pretty like remarkable to think about. Like every single week you're learning, you're like in essence learning a whole new playbook every single week. Like just feels like a lot of work. And like you have to be a really good teacher, like to teach, like you're being creative, you're coming up with a new scheme, a whole new set of plays, like every single week. I mean, they run some stuff over and over again, but it's always very like I think it was Craig Grossell from Craig, was it Greg Cosell?
Cosell.
Greg Cosell. From NFL Films was talking about this. Like he's like the Miami Dolphins, like they'll run a play in week 1 and they won't run that way. They wouldn't run that same play until like week 7. Like just like they'll go like multiple weeks. Meanwhile, the Eagles run a play in the first quarter of a game. They run it twice in quarter 2. They run it 5 times in quarter 5, and it's like, and I wonder why it gets 1 yard each time. Like, and so just like there's just this like uniqueness. Now, from a player, it's like you show up to the facility every Tuesday or Wednesday, and like there's a whole new set of plays you have to learn. It's just like a crazy thing to consider. Yeah. But that's Mike McDaniel's like that to me screams offensive coordinator, right? Like he's a weird guy. He's not a leader of men. He's not super charismatic. He's kind of goofy. I don't know if the players respect him. He looks like he's a Colombian drug lord. Like just like he's kind of like one part like Pablo Escobar, one part Napoleon Dynamite. Like Pablo Escobar and Napoleon Dynamite had a love child. It's Mike McDaniel. And like I mean this with all sincerity. I'm pretty sure he's autistic. I don't mean that as a slight. I mean that wholeheartedly. Like I think like it's Rain Man. Whenever I watch that guy talk, it's Rain Man. Like Wapner. I gotta watch Wapner. Like just that. If you've never seen it's fundamentally sound on. So anyway, I'm freaking ridiculous. I gotta shut up.
You said microwave hot dogs. I boil them. I don't know. Maybe
Oh, that is a lot of work. Boiling?
I go all out. All out. Yeah.
Oh, your kid's gonna be healthy.
Yeah, we'll see. My wife is. I don't know how your wife is, but like my wife is like super strict. Like no red dyes, especially, and no dyes in general. But like red dyes, it's not allowed at all. If I did like a bag of Doritos down here, she's like, "What's this doing here?" It's like the food police.
My wife sets these rules. I don't listen. Okay, listen. I give my daughter ice cream a couple days ago for breakfast. You know why? Because I'm the fun parent. Okay, I'm the fun parent, and they know it. Hey, listen, I can't go about life knowing that I'm not the fun parent. So I'm like fruit snacks, ice cream. We go to Starbucks, you get a cake pop. Yeah, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I am raising a daughter. I am spoiling this child. Here's what I want to create. I want to create a daughter that becomes a woman that is the most like terrible version of a woman that you'd ever want to live with. She has such high demands because her daddy gave her everything that no man's going to want to be with her. Okay, that's because she's so like freaking demanding. And she's like, my daddy did this, my daddy did that, my daddy did this, my daddy said this, my daddy gave me this, my daddy and every guy's gonna just like hate me because of the girl I created. Like that's my goal in life.
So no grandkids then.
Whatever, I don't care.
Your sons are kids. It's okay.
That's right. I'm like, listen, my wife's like, oh, you can't spoil her. Yes, I can. It's my daughter. Okay. I'm a man with one daughter. Yes, I can. The answer is yes to everything. Yes. My wife hates it. I don't care.
I think I'm the fun parent too, in a sense.
My wife is coming in and talking smack. She's open the door. She heard me talking smack.
What did she say?
I'm just kidding, baby. This is for the show.
Getting in trouble here. It was this Nuggets get in trouble.
My wife is catching strays on the show here.
we had one guy get thrown water balloons at, and the Nuggets earlier this year, and then he just disappeared. So we're wondering for safety now. Now it's like two potential husbands who are might meet their fate here.
I thought she was asleep. I thought I could talk some crap because she was asleep, but I guess not.
I don't know. My wife's definitely asleep. She goes to bed at like 9. So like she's like she's long passed out. So I can say whatever I want. So I don't know. Anyway, no, I think I'm the fun parent too. I'm like, my son was watching me play Resident Evil, for crying out loud. So, it's funny. I was we were having a meeting. It was like the you've been in some of these meetings. I'm like trying to describe them to you for the people who are watching. Like it's the ad network people, and then Amin and Dennis, who is the developer, and then Charlie sometimes joins, and sometimes you join. So we're having this meeting. Before the meeting begins, Dennis is like, or no, it was one of the ad people is like, yeah, I'm gonna introduce my son to Terminator today. It's gonna be fun. I was like, oh, how old's your son? He's like he was 11. I'm thinking in my head, like, I watched Terminator when I was 6. So, and then Dennis is like, yeah. I think we watched the Alien the other day. My son's 10, and I'm like, well, my son's 4, and he's watching me play Resident Evil.
I've actually, side note, I've never seen any of the Alien movies.
Really? You never have?
No, I just never I never got around to it.
Oh my god. I watched when I was 7. So it's great. I think it's great. The first two are awesome. I don't think I've seen any of the other ones. There was a prequel though. I did see. I can't remember what it's called, and no one even knew it was a prequel. Like we went. It looked like a cool movie. I went to it with a friend. We watched it, and then like the last 5 minutes, you learn that it's actually the prequel of Alien. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But the Alien and Aliens, I definitely would recommend. If you ever have free time to watch.
I mean, they're like super popular. I mean, I get it. I think I never.
I mean, they're older movies. I haven't seen them since my childhood, so I don't know how they hold up. Like, if they look cheesy or whatnot, I don't know. But I feel like they're worth watching. Like they're both really good. So yeah, that's like. When I was 6 or 7, that's what my parents introduced me to was Terminator 1 and 2, and then Alien and Aliens. So those are like the first 4 R-rated movies I watched when I was 6 or 7. So
when I was a kid, my parents made me watch Child's Play, Chucky movie. I was like 6. And I look back and what was my parents thinking? Was my dad doing drugs? Like what is that all about? Like why would you let a 6-year-old watch that? Like this is why I have trauma, guys.
Well, I don't know. My son's.
I was afraid of all of my dolls as a child. Every GI Joe I had, every doll in the house, I would walking around treating them nicely just in case they were, possessed with a serial killer. I don't know.
My son's giving me therapy. He's like what? Why do you think you're here? So my daddy played Resident Evil when I was 3 and 4 years old. So I don't know. I depend on like it's just jump scares. Like it's Resident Evil's not that bad. I don't think. I've
never seen her play it, so I don't know.
What is you don't like watch her play anything? What's going on here? I have to send you a Resident Evil. Do you have any gaming consoles?
I have an original Nintendo from 1985.
I know this because I sent you a video game.
That's right, you did. That's right. You stayed at my house, and I lived in Minnesota. That's the only. I literally have an original 1985 Nintendo,
and it works.
Yeah, I mean, awesome. You got to like smack it around.
Yeah, I said what game did I send you? Was it Mario 2?
I don't remember. I think it might have been. Oh yeah, I think it was the only one I didn't have.
Mario 2, yeah. I remember, yeah, because you were away, and this is the Super Bowl weekend. I don't know why you were away, but you let me and Charlie stay at your house while you were away. And then I was like, oh, like we're just watching TV. Like, oh, Kenny has a Nintendo. And then we talked about it later, and you didn't have Mario 2, I think. So so as a gift for letting us stay, I sent you a Mario 2 Nintendo.
Very kind of you.
Well, kind of you for letting us stay.
My pleasure.
Yeah, no, it's and then you came back on Sunday, so we had fun watching the game together. So, and you were kind enough to drive me to the airport after, even though you said eventually that you would never drive a friend to the airport, but you did.
I broke my own rule for you. Can't believe it.
appreciate it.
I did one of the gayest things you could do is drive in front of the airport.
Well, this is in fairness. This is no, actually, no. Uber did exist. Uber did exist back then. I was about to
the
say
Eagles had just won the Super Bowl. I was in a good mood.
Yeah, you were. Yeah. Although we should have gone to the game. Like,
yeah,
we were so pissed at the surcharges that they charged on. I don't know if it was Ticketmaster or Stubbs. I can't remember.
StubHub, one of those. Yeah,
StubHub, maybe StubHub. We were ready to pay. We were ready to like click pay, and then it charged like another like $1,500 on like surcharges. We're like, what? Like, this is ridiculous. But and the other end of it was -3 outside, and like I from what we heard, the security line was outside, so like we're gonna have to like wait outside for a half hour too.
It was a tad bit chilly. It was Minnesota.
Tad bit. It was so cold.
Well, I don't understand why the Super Bowl's ever in a cold weather place like that. Anyway, it doesn't make any sense. Like,
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I said that like this is like before Uber. It wasn't, because I remember Charlie and I on Saturday. The real reason why we were in Minnesota is that we went to a Super Bowl event, a media event, and we were supposed to meet one of Charlie's sources there, and this guy didn't show up, and we was like, oh, it's kind of weird. Why is he not here? And he comes at the end, like everyone's leaving. He comes in. We're like, oh, where have you been? He's like, my Uber driver crashed into a pole because it was snowing.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So that's why he was late. Yeah, again, like I remember saying, like, why is the Super Bowl in Minnesota in February? It'd be one thing if it was like August or July. You're gonna have like -5 degrees. Like, there was a lot of snow on the ground too, like a lot. And then, yeah, his Uber driver just crashed into a pole. So
Minnesota in February.
Yeah, I would not recommend that. I when I looked at the weather forecast, it was like 30 in Philly, and I saw it was like 0 in Minnesota, and I was like, same thing. I didn't bring my coat. I was so upset. And then the one coat I did bring, which was the nice pea coat I had, someone stole it at this media event, and so I had to walk to the train station with Charlie just with a suit on. And it was like the coldest. It was like the coldest I've ever been. And there's actually a light at the. I'm telling you as if you don't know. Like there's like a light at the train station that says "Press for Heat," and this like yellow light like shines down on you, and you feel like a little bit warmer, but like it's still so bad. It was so brutal, man. I don't miss it. I'll never go back ever again.
Never.
Summer.
Well, funny enough, for work purposes, I'm going to be in Minnesota next week, so that's that exciting.
You couldn't leave. They just kept drawing you back, huh?
Let me see what the temperature is. Let me see the temperature where it will be in Minneapolis.
Over under is -1 degree.
It is exactly 1.
Wow.
Tomorrow will be -3. Thursday -5. Saturday -3. So yeah, it'll be -3 next week when I'm there one day. Isn't that exciting?
That's great. That's why I don't like. Why do people live there?
Except
if you're Somalian, you get paid to live there. You know, it's the only people it makes sense for. Let's say McDaniel said he's geeked to work with Herbert. Yeah, I could see both he and Herbert being excited about it. I see like Justin Herbert like, oh, I don't have to play for Greg Roman anymore, who runs an offense like the 1990s. You know, I get to like get into the new age here. Like I could see the Chargers winning the Super Bowl next year. You know, if they stay healthy. I think I might actually bet it. There are odds, but you know, I will not bring them up because you can't talk about it. Well, maybe another day. We butter fry, or is it butterfly and fry pan in the South? Okay, I don't know if that was a butter fry or butterfly. Do you know what that is?
Kevin, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I've
butterfly and fry pan.
No, I don't know. Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Oh yeah, hot dogs. Yeah, hot dogs.
Butterfly. You cut them in half. Like cut them in half, but
okay.
Not all the way. So you split them open, kind of deal.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I forgot we were talking about hot dogs earlier. It was such a long time ago.
You wouldn't say that to Joey Justin's face. Yeah, hot dogs are sketch. I love hot dogs. Although Mike Lachine, who comes on sometimes. I love Mike. He said we were talking about hot dogs because I wrote about hot dogs because of my trip to Las Vegas, because there's a place called I forget what it's called. There's a cafe in the Tuscany, and they have hot dogs there. And Andy, who comes on the show Wednesdays, we were talking about hot dogs too, because we were talking about the price of hot dogs. And he's like, you need to try these hot dogs, Walt. They're the best hot dogs ever had. I'm like, okay. So we go to this cafe. The hot dogs are $11. I think they're $11. They were worth it. They were so good. They were so good, man. So yeah, so those we talked about that anyway. I met people who worked at Montfort, Eaststone, Colorado Rockies. Their words. But anyway, I was talking about Mike. He says he still brought this fact saying that like if you eat a hot dog, you lose like 30 minutes of your life. And I'm like, I should be dead by now. It's so many hot dogs in my life. Yeah. So anyway,
like my kids have had a lot of hot dogs.
Yeah, we're all doomed. We're going to be gone in 5 years. They reward a franchise for building a new stadium. Yeah, that's why it was there. Yeah, but I don't know. Give them the draft when it's April. When's it like? What's it in April? Like 20 degrees, 30 degrees. Give them the draft. Don't do the Super Bowl. It's gonna be almost 50 in Montana this week. Wow, that's awesome. Can't wait for the Millen grades on the Eagles offensive coordinator because they can't seem to find anyone that wants to work for them. What are your thoughts on this as an Eagles fan? What do you envision the Eagles doing with their offensive coordinator job?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about this quite a bit. You know, there's a couple dynamics to it, though. It's like, I think the situation is there weren't any great offensive coordinator minds like Dable and McMillan, like really are like the McDaniel. Like Dable and McDaniel are really the only two, but like if you have the option to work, the problem in Philly is it's kind of a pressure cooker position. Like if you do well, yeah, like you'll probably be a head coach the next year. But if you do badly, like they're gonna fire you. And also like if you're Dable, like do you want to go work with Cam Ward, like a young quarterback who is like, is like still more moldable, or do you want to like take on Jalen Hurts, who's more like, not that he can't learn and get better, but like he's kind of like almost a finished product. Like he's not going to get dramatically better. Like he is what he is. Could you add some wrinkles to his game? Could you maybe get on the run a little bit? Sure, you could. Like, could someone like McDaniel, like, craft an offense, a super creative, listen, I just got done talking about what he did for Devon Achane. Do I think he could do that for Jalen Hurts? Of course I think he could. But at the end of the day, like if you're one of those guys, like, if you're Dable, like going to like a system like Tennessee, where you're the OC, you have like you have probably more job security. You have like more of a leash, right? Like if you go to Tennessee with a new coach, like you have at least probably 2 or 3 years before you're on the hot seat.
Yeah, that's true.
And you've got a young quarterback you can kind of mold, who's kind of got some, maybe like lower floor than Jalen Hurts, but maybe more upside potentially long term. I just think there's just like a better situation there. And then, if you're McDaniel, like Justin Herbert, like he can do a lot of the things that McDaniel wants to do that he could never do with Tua because Tua wasn't good enough. And so, like if you're those two guys, and then the other thing is this, it's like, Jeff Stoutland, who is the Eagles offensive line coach, he's also their run game coordinator. He is like considered one of the greatest offensive line coaches of all time. He's phenomenal, right? But like he also has like a lot of sway. So like if you're coming in as the OC, you pretty much you're being told like this is your offensive line coach and you have to run his running game system. And if you're McDaniel and Dable, like they have like their own McDaniel has shown us he has his own kind of like scheme with running, and he doesn't want to do. He has that Shanahan system, which is very different than what Stoutland runs. Stoutland runs the old Colts system. What was it? Howard Mudd. That old proactive blocking scheme, which is different than what McDaniel wants to do. So like, if you're those guys, if you're an established guy, like that has a chance to be an NFL head coach again, the Eagles' job is not ideal for you. Like you have an offensive coach who's like, says he's going to give you autonomy, but he's going to be more. He's going to be involved. We saw that with Kellen Moore. Sirianni said Kellen Moore had autonomy, but at the end of the day, Sirianni was thoroughly involved in the offense, and he didn't have autonomy. So, I don't know. I think if you're an OC, it's like there's just a lot of things. Like there's great. Like Philadelphia's a high profile position. The coordinators are some of the highest paid coordinators in the NFL. Great, great facilities. But one of the most talented rosters in the NFL, like a great GM. Like there's a lot of good things about the Eagles job, but I think there's enough negative that like if you're a high profile guy that's established in the NFL and you have a legitimate chance to be a coach again, a head coach that is, like I don't think this is the job you'd want to take. Like this is not the ideal job to take to set you up for your next NFL coaching job. If McDaniel goes to the Chargers, like he has a way more higher chance of becoming he has a higher ceiling there, more autonomy. I think the probability of him being successful there and getting a head coaching job is higher, more likely. So I don't, as an Eagles fan, I don't take that as a slight. I don't think we should say, that means the Eagles are a bad job. No one wants it. It's just like, it's not necessarily like the best catapult for the next thing, which is what these guys are always thinking about. These guys are always thinking about the next thing. How does this job get me to the next thing? Yeah. And so what they really need is a guy that's like, ideally, I think what the Eagles really need is they need a Vic Fangio on the offensive side. They need a guy who's been around a while, who's established, who is not looking to be a head coach anymore, and like is just settled in on being an offensive coordinator. And so that's who I think is ideal. Like I don't need a high upside guy. Like I don't need a super creative, high upside, high octane kind of thinker like a McDaniel or a Dable. That's not the guy we need. I think the guy we need is more of a high floor, low ceiling kind of guy. So I think a Jim Bob Cooter, a Jim Bob Cooter, Frank Wright. I'd even settle for a Matt Nagy. I think that kind of guy, someone who's not a phenomenal, brilliant thinker, but just like he's competent. He's called plays. He has experience. He's been around. He's just going to be a professional. Like he's going to be just like a solid B. And I think like if they had that, like the offensive coordinator that Kevin Patullo this past year was so terrible. I mean, he was just totally incompetent. He clearly didn't know what he was doing. If they just had a B- play caller last year, they would have won at least one or two games in the playoffs. So I don't know. I just think I'm not too concerned about the situation at current time. What I think a terrible idea would be is if they try to swing for the fences and get a young guy, like the Declan from Chicago or Charlie Weiss from Ole Miss. Like, although it sounds like Charlie Weiss is going to go to LSU with Lane Kiffin. Like if they go for one of those guys, like young or the quarterback's coach from Seattle, what's his name? Mannion.
Mannion, yeah.
Like if they go for one of those guys that's like super young, 29 years old, brilliant, like the next Shanahan kind of guy, swing for the fences, like really low floor, but really high ceiling kind of guy, I think that could be a disaster. And so I would thoroughly go away from, I think they need this team still has Super Bowl aspirations. You need just like a steady Eddie. You you don't need a great, brilliant, you need just someone who's going to come in and be a professional who's like done it, who knows what he's doing. So
yeah,
I actually think a boring name like Matt Nagy actually kind of fits the bill.
Let's get North Turner in here.
Yeah, like North Turner was a great offensive mind, right? Great offensive coordinator. He's a terrible head coach. Was a really good offensive coordinator. Like if he had just remained an offensive coordinator, he would have been so successul.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of offensive coordinators who should have remained in their post, we have and it's probably the last thing we'll talk about. The Bills hired Joe Brady, basically promoting him from offensive coordinator to head coach. We couldn't see this more differently. Really? Okay. I don't understand this hire. Like you had McDermott, who couldn't win with Josh Allen. And so you fire him and then you bring in the guy under him who couldn't win with Josh Allen. And like he was already there. And so what new ideas is Joe Brady going to have to get the Bills over the top? Like I kind of liken the Bills situation to the Buccaneers, like the late 90s or early aughts, where they under Tony Dungy they kept going to the playoffs and then they kept losing. And And then they eventually fired Tony Dungy, who was he was a great head coach, and eventually he won with the Colts. But they brought in John Gruden, and so with some new ideas, John Gruden was able to take this great defense and implement some offensive schemes and have Brad Johnson play well, much better than he would have under Dungy. And then they won the Super Bowl that year in 2002. And so I thought the Bills here, who, kept getting to the playoffs and kept losing, I thought if they brought in this, a seasoned head coach who, was ready to win, like a John Harbaugh before he took the job there, maybe Mike Tomlin, something like that, who could get them over the top and win. I thought that would be the way to go. This hire would be like the Buccaneers be like, okay, we're going to fire Tony Dungy, but instead of bringing in John Gruden, we're going to hire one of Dungy's assistants. And I don't think the Buccaneers would have won the Super Bowl in that scenario. So, I mean, you tell me, maybe I'm wrong here. You make the argument about Joe Brady, because I'm curious to hear it.
Yeah, I guess I look at this. I look at this team and why didn't they win? I think there's two reasons they didn't win. First, they have zero offensive playmakers. Tight end. They have James Cook, but they have no great pass catchers. They don't use the running backs effectively out of the backfield. They don't have receivers, and they don't have tight ends. It's a personnel problem, not a X and O's problem.
They have tight ends, but otherwise, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Kincaid's good, but he's not amazing. He's not an amazing pass catching tight end. He's not like Kelsey was, or Antonio Gates. He's not that level. He's fine. He's fine.
Knox. What
was that?
Knox and Box. Don't forget Knox and Box.
Yeah. They're fine. They're fine. And so I just I think about this. You got to have somebody better lined up for this. Kevin, you're the man.
Thank you, man.
I just think so I think this is a personnel problem and a overall game plan, which I find that head coach I think McDermott just he made mistakes in game management and decision making. That wasn't on Brady. And McDermott made his bones on the defensive side of the ball. That was his main jam. And the defense was really inconsistent in big spots over the last couple of years. I mean, name the biggest failure of the McDermott Josh Allen era was the fact that Josh Allen played out of his freaking mind and took the lead in Kansas City to win with 13 seconds left in that game a couple years ago. And the Bills defense in 13 seconds let the Chiefs go down the field in 2 plays to get in the field goal range to tie the game instead of the overtime to eventually win the game. That was one of the biggest failures. That was game management and defense. Where was Sean McDermott make his bones? He's a culture guy. He's a CEO head coach. He's the guy that he's a defensive guru. He's the guy that's the fundamentally sound. He's the Mike Tomlin type guy. He's the white Tomlin. And the great white hope. That's what Sean McDermott was supposed to be. And he wasn't that. He never did that. The reason why the Bills never made it to the Super Bowl, I would say, is not because of offensive scheme or offensive production. Is because the head coach didn't do what he was supposed to do, and the front office did not give them the personnel over the last few seasons. And so I actually think what when I look at this team and go, what actually has kept them in there? What have they done? One, they have an all-world quarterback, obviously Josh Allen, but their scheme is really good. I actually really like the scheme. I think Joe Brady's not quite the McDaniel type. He's not quite in the Shanahan mold. But when they had their they had their previous. Even when Brian Dable was there, Brian Dable was not a super creative guy. They didn't run a bunch of plays with him and Josh Allen. I think Brian Dable got that job. Really got the Giants job just because Josh Allen was so great. I don't think he elevated that offense all that much. When Joe Brady came in, I think he clearly put a big emphasis on details and scheme and really elevated the offense. And I think got more out of Josh Allen with lesser talent around Josh Allen than what Dable did, even when he had Stephon Diggs in his prime around Josh Allen. So like I also think the running game specifically is fundamentally better with Joe Brady. So I think what we saw what Joe Brady did was in Carolina, right, with Baker Mayfield. He had moments there. Like I think what Joe Brady has done, I'm like, I think this guy has had. I think there's potential that there's more in Joe Brady, and he could do more with less than what we saw with Sean McDermott. And so I see the argument for like, okay, you want to bring in a totally different voice, but I wonder if there's like this team, like if they're going to keep most of the team together. They want to make another run. They don't want to make a bunch of changes. They want to like give Josh Allen another chance, like without making a wholesale change. Like this is like you keep the offense mostly the same. We'll see what Brady does on the defensive side. You know, who he hires if he keeps, who he keeps, who doesn't keep. But I don't know. I think this is like a B+ hire. Like I think there's enough in Joe Brady and enough in the situation that I would not want to blow it up just yet. And if this team like this, at the end of the day, this team he was throwing the slop all year, man. Like just, think about this. He had Mac Hollins last year, who I think is terrible, and Mac Hollins would be an upgrade over this receiving core. So, I mean, I just, Mr. Backpack. And so, like, which is just the weirdest celebration of anyway. But, all that to say, like, I understand. If there were great options, if John Harbaugh had been available, maybe John Harbaugh's a great, addition here. Maybe Dable's the option, but I don't know. I look at what Dable did in New York. I just feel like he was terrible as a head coach. Like, I don't know. Like McDaniel, like, do I want to have McDaniel coming off like the situation he just came out of? I don't know. To me, Mike Tomlin would have been an interesting thing. Like, but like then you're like hiring a new offensive coordinator probably, and you're looking for someone like I don't know. So I just feel like of all things considered, what the options are. Unless there's some great, I don't know, like was Arthur Smith going to be your option at OC if you hire Tomlin? Like, I don't know. I feel like of all the options available, I actually think this actually was probably not a terrible choice.
I don't disagree with anything you said. But couldn't you have retained Brady if you hired Tomlin or another defensive guy? Not an offensive guy, but a defensive guy.
Yeah. I guess that would have been an option too. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That could have been an option. You're right. I wonder if they just have seen internally, like, okay, we've seen internally that this guy is good, and like we think he's going to be a good leader of men, and we've seen enough, and we think that the guy holding us back was the coach, not the. I mean, I'm speculating, obviously.
Tomlin heading to Tampa for early retirement, 27. I can see that. Thanks, Kevin. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So I do think that you could have gone defense with Brady. I think that would have made a lot of sense. I would not want to disrupt this, like putting quarterback in a new system, unless it's going to be a major upgrade, kind of like Herbert with McDaniel. Like I just don't like doing that. So if this is like the only way they could have kept Joe Brady, then that's fine. Like, what this kind of reminds me of, and this is negative, that like, when the Cowboys had Jason Garrett as their offensive coordinator and Wade Phillips as the head coach, and they got rid of Wade Phillips to make Jason Garrett the head coach. It's kind of like the same thing. They fired a defensive guy, an older guy, to bring in a younger offensive coordinator, and it didn't work. And that's not going to mean that this isn't going to work because it's the same thing. But it just kind of reminds me of that. And I don't think the Cowboys are well run, kind of like the Bills aren't well run with their owner, So that kind of irks me too. So I'm not a fan of this. You could maybe talk me into a C or C-, but I just feel like they had if they just went out and found a new voice, someone with new thoughts, and kept Brady. Like I said, like a Tomlin, if you got Brady and other defensive guys who are available, then I think that would have been a good move. I think that's what the Bills should have done. But, I guess it's definitely better than bringing in Arthur Smith. And I said in my write-up, I'm like, this is not the worst thing the Bills could have done, because at least they didn't hire Mike McCarthy.
That's right.
So
yeah, I do also wonder if there's been they know more than we do. Like, I remember, Jay Gruden talked about when Jay Gruden was with the Redskins. On his staff, he had Kyle Shanahan, he had Sean McVay, and he had who's the third guy who ended up being Matt LaFleur,
right.
Was on that staff. And I remember like Jay Gruden saying like on this team, like these guys, like we internally, the way they lead, the way they carry themselves, the way they interact with players, the way they contribute to meetings, like you could tell these guys were kind of a notch above the rest of like these guys had what it take to be successful NFL head coaches. Like Jay Gruden, I remember Andy Reid said that about that back in the early 2000s. Like, he had on that team, he had multiple guys that went on to be head coaches, right? Brad Childress, Marty Morningweg, not good head coaches, but
John Harbaugh.
But he had John Harbaugh on that team. I feel like there was at least one other. Oh, Sean McDermott actually was on that team. Yeah. So he had multiple guys that ended up being head coaches elsewhere. And I remember Andy Reid saying like, yeah, like Ron Rivera was on that staff. Yeah, Marty Morningweg wasn't good.
I'll kick the ball away overtime.
And so like I remember Andy Reid saying like somebody, like, we could just tell these guys like had the chops to be decent head coaches. And so which I think is interesting. And so you're just like, I do wonder, like, some like internally has the leadership already observed like Joe Brady, like the way he carries himself, the way he functions, this guy is going to be good. And like, rather than let him get away, we want him to be good here. Or it's maybe Joe Brady just said, listen, if you don't make me the head coach, I'm leaving. I'm going to go do something else. Right. And they just didn't want to lose him. Or maybe they didn't want Joe Brady, but they didn't want to fire him because they didn't want to be on the hook for his salary. So they figured they'd just make him head coach. I don't know. Maybe they're just cheap bastards. Who knows?
It could be.
Like, all of these are potentials, right?
Cardinals are talking to Rivera. Oh, they're really? Oh my God.
No, that can't be true.
That'd be terrible. They did that. Oh my God, that'd be horrible. I mean, we'll see. We still have some coaching hires to be done. We did have a question I wanted to answer. It was from Drew, who asked, here it is. Walt, how I guess you're going to be posting the Dable grade tomorrow. So Dable said he would be coordinator of the Titans if he doesn't get the Raiders head coaching job. So that it's still like not official because he could be the Raiders head coach. I assume the Raiders are waiting on one of the Seahawks / Patriots guys, but Clint Kubiak specifically, maybe. But if they don't get him, and if they could still make Daboll the offer to be head coach. So that's why I haven't done that yet. So once it's official, I will have the grade, but that's why it's not posted yet. So we'll see. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So we'll see. So like I said, we still have some coaching grades to get through. I'm sure we'll be talking about it next week too. Serious. Barely. Wow. Okay. Well, we said it could get worse than McCarthy. Maybe it can. Would that be worse, do you think, than McCarthy to the Steelers?
Almost no, because I expect the Cardinals to make foolish choices. So I don't know. It's almost like it's almost on brand.
Okay, they are the homeless person in that comparison we made earlier.
Yeah.
Now speaking of which, the Lions hired new offensive coordinator a while ago. Yeah, that's I forgot to do that. I will post it tomorrow. I think it was testing. Yeah. I will do that tomorrow. I remember seeing it. I'm like, I'll get to it, and then I just forgot it. So I will do that. So, anything else before we head out? Oh, we're almost 2 hours. So, what do you think?
No, I'm just been, this is what I do right here, bro. I'm asleep. I come right off the couch, and bam, I hit a home run, and I piss off my wife in one show.
Yeah, that you hit the double play there. Hopefully, you don't pay for it later. We'll see. You see if you have to take time off, kind of like Paul Allen. You'll be apologizing on Twitter the next day.
After much thought, I realized my comments were insensitive.
Well, hopefully she hears the apology. We'll see. Anyway, thanks guys for watching and commenting. Really appreciate it. Thanks especially to Kevin for the $2
you're the man.
chat, the $5 super chat too. 5, 5, and 2. So I believe that is $21 in super chats. Thank you so much, Kevin. Really appreciate it. You're the man for helping us keep the show going. I saw the Ron Rivera thing and cracked up laughing. Maybe that's the DI retard hire thing. Maybe. Although McCarthy did get hired. Hot dogs, yeah. Hot dogs would be nice. So I'd love to get a hot dog right now. That'd be great. Anyway, really appreciate you guys. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content. We'll be back tomorrow, I assume, with Andy. Andy said he was coming on, so I haven't heard anything saying otherwise. So we're going to be looking at some Super Bowl props. I posted 3, by the way, on the site. We'll be having more live, but I posted 3 initially. Yeah, it would be a million minus. It'll be something. It'll definitely be something. Yeah, like I said, so Andy on Wednesday, we'll have Evan on Thursday, and Tom, I assume, will be back from his travels on Friday. So full show this week. Kenny, great as always to do this with you. Visit thecapIsFake.com for all of Kenny's articles. Highly recommended. Some great stuff on here. Any promotion you want to give on this or anything else before we head out?
Listen, if you believe the salary cap is real, you're wrong. It is fake. Check it out, thecapIsFake.com.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Hope you have a great night, and I will talk to you next time.